Have you ever wondered what humble pie tastes like? It's bitter, kind of slimy, mucilaginous like raisin meat, and has a slight undercooked, burnt flavor somehow. I don't know how they manage that one. It's not great, but I had some recently, and I managed to almost die again. It's been a while since we almost died on the channel, so let's talk.
The power is within us. We can make this better. Forget divide and conquer. Weather the storm together.
You have no idea the hellstorm that is my life. I don't know how I managed to almost die again. It crept on me slowly. If I look like I lost a bit of weight, I have. If I look a little swollen right here, I am. We'll get to that. So about 9 years ago, I did something stupid. I was researching dental materials. I have 2 stainless steel crowns right here. I had mercury fillings removed years ago, and I was trying to get all the metal out of my mouth. And then I just thought the 2 stainless steel crowns were creating this electric conductivity that might be effing my brain somehow. We're electrical beings. You don't want metal in your mouth or body anywhere. So I was like, what if I just removed them? Like, could I? And so I was like wiggling it, and it came off. I was like, oh, look at that. That was probably a mistake. And the tooth underneath is shaved and dead now, and I'm like, that sucks. And not long after that, I believe this is the timeline events, I cracked the tooth in front of it. So I believe that crown weakened that tooth. It was pushing on it, and then once that support was gone, the tooth's like, I don't know what to do without you. And so I ate something, and I felt a piece come off, and I was like, ah, shit. I have this like sharp piece now. It's cracked. I just let it go. I was like, whatever, man. That was dumb. I didn't want to go to more dentistry because when you get a filling, you often get another cavity right there anyway. Like, it doesn't fix the cause. I was like, what's the cause? Fruit? No, it's not sugar. You're crazy. So every once in a while for 9 years, it would flare up and I would get like gum pain around that area, and then it would die down, and I was like, okay, we're fine. Like, I was doing everything I could to not kill that tooth. I was like, I should just pull the thing or get a filling, but I didn't. And so it happens on every diet, veganism, carnivore, it would flare up. I would say less though on carnivore. Sugar is effing my teeth. We all know that, whatever. So lately, a week ago, it's starting to get worse again. It was healing, and then out of the blue, like it was almost completely gone. And then Saturday night, I have a dinner. After that dinner, it starts hurting, and then it progressively gets way worse than it's ever been. It was so painful, and it's the stomach tooth. There's these meridians that are connected to each organ. Ow, I poked it. Ow, it still hurts. And it's connected to the stomach. I had this tight feeling in my stomach, and the pain was so bad. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I was like, there's no way I could sleep. I was getting a headache, jaw pain. You know, restless leg syndrome? You ever had that where you're like laying down at night, you're trying to rest, but you have this uncontrollable urge to like move your legs and shake them. It's like, oh, it's so annoying. I had full body restless syndrome. I could not stop moving. I couldn't relax at all. Like, I was dying. Bacterial overlords were getting me. So I was like, I'm not sure what to do. I told my fiance about it. She looked up a bunch of dentists, but this was Saturday night. They're all closed, and dentists don't seem to work on Sundays. That's fine. So like, I was effed. She found a couple clinics, emergency clinics that were open. I was like, I'm gonna go get this tooth pulled probably. But it was so painful all night, and I'm just like, they don't open till 8 a.m. It's only 3 a.m. How am I gonna deal with this? Like, it was the worst night I've had since the breaking the water fast with raw eggs. I think that was worse pain, but this was almost like right there, man. It was bad news. At some point, I tried to pull it myself. It was wiggling. I was like, I'm just gonna pull this thing. I couldn't grip it enough with my hands. My weak vegan nails just couldn't get it. And then I grabbed pliers, I sterilized them. I was like, we're doing this. All right, this has come to a place I never thought it would. And I I tried, man. I was like, it just hurt. It just hurt, and I couldn't get a good grip enough. I would have done it. But hot damn. So like that was the worst night of my life. 8 a.m. comes around. I call a dentist. I'm like, can I come in? Yep, come on in. I scooter my way to a dentist on no sleep. I get there. This old ass man walks in. He's like 70, overweight, bald, missing a tooth, glasses. And he comes in. We do an x-ray. I took iodine before and after the x-ray. Take that. Radiation. And so he's looking over. He's like, okay, you need a root canal. I'm like, yeah, about that. I don't want to get a root canal. And he's like, why is that? I'm like, well, I've heard many stories. No, that's a myth. He wouldn't even let me finish the sentence. If you don't know, like many people have had terrible health outcomes after getting a root canal. It does something, it traps bacteria in, they can never get out, and then they spread and they find little trails to your heart. Like it's bad news, like never get one. It's documented, it's well known. Holistic dentists know this. And he was just so dismissive of it. I was like, I just want to pull the thing. And he's like, no, we can save it. I'm like, it's loose. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, you didn't even touch it. He hasn't even looked in my mouth yet. He's just looked at the x-ray. I'm like, I can wiggle it right now. And so like, I feel bad here. I do not like where I am. I had this before when I got my mercury fillings pulled out. I had a feeling like this guy's bad news. Don't do it. But I didn't listen to that intuition, and he didn't remove them good. You're supposed to put like an oxygen dam so you're not breathing in mercury fumes, and it was not good. And so I wasn't going to do that again. So I booked it out of there. I paid for that stupid x-ray poison. And then he's like, I'll give you some antibiotics. And I'm like, I'm going to go just second opinion on this one. Thanks, doc. So I'm still in severe pain and utterly exhausted. And now the one hope I had of seeing a dentist to extract the thing was gone. I didn't trust him to do it. So I was like, that's great. And it's Sunday, like nothing else is open. So I rode home, saw the fiance. She's like, okay, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm going to sleep now. I'm going to try. I couldn't sleep. I laid down for a bit. And she came in and I'm just like, I don't want to be in this body anymore. I'm done. No. And she's like, okay, you need help. She found another dentist that was open. She's like, you got to go get this thing pulled out. I'm like, okay. So I go to another dentist. I'm waiting in that office for like an hour. It was pain. I had them email the x-ray from the previous guy, but it was too blurry. Thanks for the high resolution photo that I paid you $200 for. I had to get another x-ray. I was like, more radiation. No. I took more iodine and I'm immune to it. So we get another x-ray and she's like, yeah, okay, your fiance told us you don't want a root canal for some reason. Okay, we'll extract it. And I did that. And you know the most painful thing you could ever experience? Having an infected jaw and then having someone stick a needle in that infected jaw. She's like, I know that feeling. I've had much dental work in my life as a kid. And so like, I knew it was gonna hurt, but I was just like, I don't know what I had in my hand, a mirror or something for some reason. I gripped it and I was like, oh my. It was so, like the most painful 10 seconds you could ever experience. Way worse than childbirth. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend, ladies. But after that, the freezing kicked in and the pain finally went away. I was like, this is nice. Thanks, doc. Yeah, do whatever you want. And then, you know what she was gonna do? Remove the wrong tooth. That's why I love the medical industry so much. I knew she was looking at the one that had the crown on it that was taken off, and that one looks dead as hell. Yeah, that's the look on paper that looks, oh, okay, remove that one. No, it's the one in front. We know that, right? Like I said it 3 or 4 times. Like I couldn't point to it, but like, yeah, the one in front with the crack. She's like, yeah. And then she's about to remove the wrong one. And I was like, just to make sure, it's this one, right? And she's like, the big one. I'm like, no, not the big one. The one in front of that. That's the one that's effing me, that always gets painful. And she's like, point to it. And so she got me this mirror and a light. And I'm like, okay, that one. She's like, oh, that one? Yeah, that's the one. That's like nightmare shit. You go in for surgery. Whoops, we removed the wrong kidney. So I had the tooth pulled. It wasn't bad. Once the freezing kicked in, didn't feel much. I have gauze in my mouth. She's like, take antibiotics. If you feel a sore throat, go to emergency immediately. I'm like, yeah, I'll totally take those antibiotics and painkillers. She gave me a prescription. I scootered home again, totally safe. And while I was crying on my way to the Shoppers Drug Mart, I hand him the slip and he's like, okay, I'll get these in half an hour. I'm like, yeah, no problem, take your time. And I went shopping for some juice. I was like, there's no food coming in this body, so I got some grape juice. That's good for the teeth, I hear. And so he brings me Tylenol T3, and I'm looking at it, it's like codeine, caffeine, and then third thing, Tylenol 3, terrible things. And I was like, caffeine, huh? Codeine, that's an opioid. I don't want that. And it wasn't covered by OHIP. So I was like, I'm definitely not paying for it. And the antibiotics, I was just like, it would be smart to do. I probably should. But I was like, what about a natural antibiotic? Like, take lots of garlic, oil of oregano, all these things, clove oil. There's lots of herbs that kill the infections. I'm doing all that stuff. And I just said, hold it. I'll be back if I need it. So I basically toughed it out, had surgery without painkillers somehow, and I've survived it. That was Sunday. It's now Wednesday. The swelling's gone much down. You might not be able to see. It was much bigger, and it's definitely headed in the right direction. So, like, I haven't had any crazy things. It's only getting better and better. It's just, it hurts still. It's not a great feeling, but, like, it's not like, oh my God, my lymph nodes are now, like, I remember Dan the Man said he had something like this where it's just like his neck started growing a lump and it was like getting bigger and bigger. He's like, I'll just fast. The body will heal it. And he was like, as I am, against all this medical bullshit. But eventually he had to give in and go to the hospital and get antibiotics. So I had that in mind. I was like, I will definitely take them if I feel I need to and I'm going to die. And I still might take it. We'll see what happens. You don't want to play around with bacteria. My friend just told me a story how he cut his leg in a lake and then like he washed it off, thought nothing of it, and then it was like so much more painful than it should be. And he was like, what the hell is that? And he saw a doctor and the doctor was like, you should take antibiotics. He's like, yeah, maybe I will. And he went home and like it got so bad so fast to where it like spread up to his knee. He could barely walk, and his girlfriend convinced him to go back to the hospital. And when he got there, the doctor was like, yeah, our next conversation would be about amputating your leg. You need these antibiotics. That's a staph infection. Like, you're about to die. He's like, okay, yeah, give me the antibiotics. So like bacteria, when 2020 happened, I have this belief that like, these things aren't real, man. Relax. Like, bacteria can't hurt you. I've eaten raw chicken. You're kidding yourself. But now I've experienced it hurts. Bacteria are little assholes and they can infiltrate you, and don't F around. Don't F around with infections. Like, I'm effing around with it right now and it's not fun. It hurts and like things could get bad. I had a little bit of left thumb, I wouldn't say numbness, but weird feeling, almost numb. Just a weird feeling. It's getting better, I think. But like, that happened in Thailand. The 21-day water fast, breaking it with raw eggs. I got crazy sharp pain all night. It was emergency. And like a week later, my legs, the back of my legs felt kind of numb. Bacteria can F you and your nervous system. But it just makes me realize that we are all just human beings. It doesn't matter. You think you're on your perfect carnivore diet and nothing will happen to you. Oh, I'm raw vegan. Don't worry about me. I'm raw vegan. Like, nothing bad can happen. things happen to good people. Chef AJ just got diagnosed with lung cancer. I'm like, oh my God, like how frustrating must that be? Like you're doing everything perfect. You've interviewed all these experts and then it's like, okay, lung cancer, what? I don't smoke. What the hell happened? Like our world is insane. Just some advice for her. Don't take advice from me, obviously. But grapes look like lung sacs. So those could help you. And mullein is the lung herb. I would be drinking tea every day of that all day long and nebulizing it. Get a little nebulizer on Amazon. They're cheap. Make a little tea. Pour it in there. It vaporizes that. Breathe it in. Don't follow that advice. You'll die quicker. But I'm just saying, that's what I might do. But this whole experience has made me just so much more compassionate about everybody's suffering. It's like, sometimes when I hear somebody diagnosed with something, I would think, well, you should have ate better. You should have been on my diet and maybe that wouldn't have happened to you. That's why I do the right thing. But even if you do the right thing, even if I was on carnivore, it would have flared up. It has. It's like, I don't know what that's all about. It's just because you're not feeding that bacteria sugar doesn't mean, oh, I'm safe from everything. So it's like something's happened out of our control. Our world is kind of designed to bring us down like this. We can overcome it, but it's hard sometimes. I feel like I have to work so hard at my health. I should move out into the country and just ground 25 hours a day if possible. That's the only way. Just bury yourself in the earth with an umbrella because they're probably going to chemtrail over you. You might live till you're 35. So that's my first tooth ever lost. It's annoying. I was trying to hold on to it, but lately I was just like, I don't even want you anymore. Stop doing this to me. I might remove more. I have like wisdom teeth. They're all cracked. Same shit. I might remove them all. And just like implants. I'll have the best smile you ever seen in your life. Can't see it yet. Probably because my jaw's so swollen. But this is the kind of thing the medical industry is designed for, in my opinion. Emergency life-saving things where like I couldn't pull the tooth myself. I might have died. Like the caveman me would have died that night probably. Like eventually I succumb to that bacteria and it's like, oh yeah, we're done. Then I spiral out the dome because I save a squirrel right before my death or something and we're good times. So there's a good chance I do survive this once again and all attempts at my life have failed and I will never be killed. I do the killing here with my diet advice and we're doing all right. So I'm just having green smoothies. It was like just juice and fasting for a bit and then, okay, I'll try a green smoothie and I had just one smoothie yesterday and no meal. Now I'm probably gonna have 2 smoothies today. So it's like all raw and just blended. I had garlic in my smoothie today. I'm just going hard on this like natural antibiotic type stuff and really get this infection. And that's my ideas. I don't know when I can eat again, but we'll see what happens with all that. So I lived to tell the tale once again. It's worth a thumb up. You could thumb this video down, but I know it's because you have 7 teeth, but they're strategically placed in your mouth so that no food could ever hurt you again. You have one on the top, but then another one adjacent, and you skip a row every tooth. So no tooth ever touches another tooth. It's just, you squish it into your gums and absorb it lymphatically, and it's a good diet. So living is fun. Do you agree? Bitcoin is fun to donate. I hear. Merry Christmas. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next.